What is so inspiring about rucking is that several studies have been conducted comparing calories burned rucking versus walking. The overall conclusions indicate that if you carry 10% extra weight during your walks, you could burn 10% more calories than if you were just walking. Those are phenomenal returns. Welcome to the Rucker's Edge podcast, a show designed to help you develop your rucking routine, lose weight, and ultimately gain your strength and energy back. Whether you're an office worker with lower back pain, a fitness first-timer, or a new parent trying to get back to their pre-kids weight, this is the show for you. I'm your host, Spencer. Thanks for tuning in. I'm glad you're here today because in this episode of the Rucker's Edge, we're laying the foundation for your rucking routine. We'll discuss what rucking is, why it's different from every other workout you've tried, and the 5 main reasons you should start today. Being that this is the first episode of the show, we're going to start out with why. It's a really good idea to begin things with intention, something I've been trying to do lately in my own life. So it just seems fitting. Starting out a new podcast, let's start with why. And this will be the first episode of a beginners series. The next episode, we're going to be talking about the gear you'll need. In following episodes, we're going to be talking about a pre-ruck routine, what to expect during your ruck, and then how to recover and rest after your rucks. Before we jump into why, we need to discuss what rucking is in case someone has joined us and doesn't really know exactly what it is. Maybe you've heard it in passing, but rucking is walking with weight. You throw some weight in a backpack and you go for a walk. It's a workout that's easier on the joints, but still builds strength and endurance. Now, why ruck? Well, there are tons of reasons why you should start rucking and make it a habit of yours. I counted over 30, and I'm not going to list them all out, but the big ones were weight loss and building strength. And for this episode, I wanted to focus on the top 5 most important reasons, in my opinion. All right, so here we go. Top 5. Number 5, you get all the benefits of walking and getting your steps in, but you're also getting strength and endurance training at the same time. Now, the benefits of walking include, you're maintaining a healthy weight and you're losing body fat. You're preventing and managing various conditions, including heart disease, stroke, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, all those different types of conditions. It's also been proven that it improves your mood, your cognition, your memory, and sleep. But what is so inspiring about rucking is that several studies have been conducted comparing calories burned rucking versus walking. And while the sample sizes were pretty small and participants were from varying skill levels with wearing a rucksack, meaning some of the participants were former military and others were maybe had never put on a rucksack in their past. But the overall conclusions of the studies indicate that the percent increase in calories burned is roughly equal to the percent of weight you ruck with. So in general, if you carry 10% extra weight during your walks, you could burn 10% more calories than if you were just walking. Those are phenomenal returns. Your miles may vary, of course, but I like to think of rucking as, well, if walking is body maintenance, rucking is a tune-up and a performance upgrade. All right, number 4. It's a lower impact exercise that isn't boring or require you to go to a gym to exercise. I have had significant ankle injuries, in the past. I've left a lot of scarring in there. I have other conditions that cause my joints to experience pain. I'm a former distance runner. I abused my body way more than I should have as a younger teenager, early 20s. And it was a real hard pill to swallow when multiple doctors told me to stop running. It was terrible. It was my main source of getting and staying healthy. And when I stopped, I noticed my health decline. But then I found rucking, and it was a game changer for me. It's way easier on my joints, and a number of studies have concluded rucking puts less force on your joints than running. Running puts 8 times your body weight on your knees, and rucking is somewhere between 3 to 5 times, depending on variables like how much weight you're carrying, how fast you're going, and whatnot. And of course, walking is lower at roughly 2.7 times your body weight. And I'll include links to studies where I'm pulling these numbers from in the show notes. So if you're curious, go through and read them. It's kind of interesting. Rucking gave me the physical feedback I was missing from losing the running habit I had for so many years. And when I was told to stop running, I tried so many other lower impact exercises. I tried swimming, cycling, rowing, but rucking is way more enjoyable than those other lower impact exercises. Anything stationary, I just get bored. Even with the TV in front of me, I can find something interesting to watch, but I lose interest and I'm not really engaged in the workout, and it's just not as enjoyable for me. But when I found rucking, it was a game changer. So that was number 4. It's a lower impact exercise that isn't boring or require you to go to a gym to exercise. All right, number 3, it complements other strength and mobility training. This is where rucking gives you the edge. It lifts you to another level. It gives me just a little more boost because I'm working muscles that I don't necessarily target when I'm doing other weight training exercises that I do. Bonus tip, it helps with your core, your shoulder positioning, and your foot and ankle strength. Areas most desk job dads neglect, like myself. This might sound dumb, and I don't think I've admitted this to anyone, but I get up off the ground a lot easier after rucking. I used to use like 4 points of contact, but now I can pop up really quickly. The other day, my daughter and I were playing in her room, and her mom came home. We always make it a point to greet everyone with a hug when they arrive back at the house. It just makes everybody feel so good. It kind of resets things. So we make it a race to go give the person coming home a hug. And my wife started this tradition. It's been great. Just one of the reasons why my wife is amazing. But I popped up off the ground like I was 18 again. It caught myself off guard. I was like, whoa, that was really easy. So I contribute that to rucking. Rucking gives you the edge that working out on machines or dumbbells can't, in my opinion. Hence the name I gave to this podcast, gives you an edge. I feel more athletic. I'm not just strong, but I'm ready, All right, so that was number 3. It complements other strength and mobility training, and that will give you your edge for sure. Moving on to number 2. Gets me outside. It's scheduled time to be away from the office, away from computer screens. My phone is down and I'm in nature and I'm sweating and it feels excellent. Being outside has a lot of benefits. It improves sleep, blood pressure, cognitive function, physical ability, as well as reducing risks of chronic disease such as type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and cancer. I feel like it improves creativity for me personally. My natural circadian rhythm resets. I have more vitamin D after being outside, and ultimately I have better sleep. It feels great knowing that I put in a really hard workout outside, and you shower, you climb into bed, and all you want to do is just sleep. I'm not pulling out the phone. I'm just going straight to bed. So that was reason number 2. It gets me outside. Okay, I want to take a quick break before revealing reason number 1 to say once again, thank you for listening to the first episode of the brand new podcast here at The Rucker's Edge. If you found this episode helpful or interesting, please click the follow button in your podcast player so you're notified of new episodes. Also, if you know someone thinking about starting rucking or would benefit from rucking, please share this episode with them. It might just give them the motivation to start or to keep pursuing their rucking goal. My goal for this podcast is to introduce rucking to people that would benefit from a lower impact endurance workout. So following and sharing will help me out tremendously. Thank you. Okay, back to the list. Before saying the number 1 reason why you should start rucking today, I want to mention the benefit of rucking that just missed the top 5. So I guess this one gets honorable mention. It improves my posture. Currently have. It's getting better, but it's improving. My posture has been terrible. I have a desk job. I'm hunched over. I'm probably not sitting ergonomically correct. I need to fix that. But through rucking, it's pulling my shoulders back naturally, and it feels good, and it's improving my posture. If you're anything like me, I try to work ergonomically correct as possible and do things and function how I'm supposed to, but I always find myself in just the terrible sitting positions. So with rucking, it's definitely correcting any of the bad posture habits that I've picked up. All right, number 1 reason why you should start rucking today. And it beats the benefit of being outside because it was a surprise to me. I was caught off guard, but the number one reason is it clears my mind way better than any other workout I have ever done. I do some of my best thinking while rucking. Totally surprised by this, not really anticipating this happening going into picking up the habit of rucking. But when I exercise, I typically listen to podcasts. I love podcasts. I listen to music. But when I ruck, I typically don't listen to anything. I'll actually end up with like 10 to 20 voice memos on my phone for me to go back through and explore later during the week because I had this thought while rucking. I was thinking so intently that, I need to record this and listen to this later because this could be monumental. And in fact, this is how this podcast was created. I thought about like the edge that rucking has given me in my physical and mental aspects of my life. And that was one of my voice memos. I should pull that back up one day and maybe I'll include it in a podcast episode. But it's not just exercise. Rucking is my thinking time that I use for my therapy, for fatherhood, or working out things at work or my professional life. Recently had a loss in the family, and it helped me as I entered and continued on the grieving process. Because I've created a regular routine of deep thought through my rucks, my mental health was improved as well. It's like I enter a different state of being, wipes away all the day's challenges and gives me time to process ideas I otherwise wouldn't have had time for. For example, I get pretty philosophical on my rucks, which is not characteristic of my thought patterns. The other day during a ruck, I started thinking about the legacy I want to leave my children. I don't think like I used to before I had kids. Maybe because I just don't have the time or energy I did before. But I encourage you, when you are starting your rucking routine, try it without earbuds. It's pretty contradictory to what other podcasters might recommend, and being that they want you to listen to your show, but I want you to benefit from rucking as much as you can. And one of the benefits is take those earpods out. Don't listen to anything and just listen to your thoughts. Just be with yourself, be with nature. It's kind of funny. I did some thinking, and before kids, I just wanted abs. Now I ruck so I can be more present, more patient, and more grounded. Don't get me wrong, I still want abs, but having the time for deep thought like this has been priceless. So that was number one. It gives me time to think. All right, to recap, top 5 reasons to start rucking today are: you get all the benefits of walking, plus the added benefits of strength and endurance training. Number 4, an excellent lower impact workout that isn't boring or requires a gym membership. Number 3, it complements other strength and mobility training you may be doing, which gives you your edge. Number 2, time spent outside away from the computer screen. And number 1, it clears your mind and is an opportunity to do some deep thinking. Now that we know why we should be rucking, in the next episode, we'll discuss how we can start rucking right now for no cost. In the meantime, if you haven't already, please follow the show and share this episode with a friend that might find it helpful. As I mentioned before, all the studies I mentioned in the podcast today are included in the show notes. And once again, my name is Spencer. Thank you so much for listening to this first episode of The Rucker's Edge.